we start?
Yeah, but I'll try that one actually.
We are live, Paul.
Back towards that corner. We are live?
Yeah.
All right, that was quick. All right, well, welcome everybody that have tuned in for the random batch audit this morning here in the Kitsap County Auditor's Office. Yesterday was election day, and on election day we are required by law to select from all of the available ballots to be counted on election day. Randomly, we select 6 batches, and then we randomly also select from those batches a countywide race. In this case, we've selected
advisory vote number 37.
Advisory vote number 37. So we will be hand counting today the ballots that are in this sealed box here on the table to compare our manual count against what the machine counted yesterday. So I'm going to hand this off to David Frisk, my elections manager, and he will introduce everybody that will be counting and explain the rules to us, and we'll get started.
All right, thank you, Paul. Yep, Paul pretty much summed it up. This is what we're going to do. This is our team, and they're going to open this box up. They are going to combine all the batches together, and then they're going to look at every ballot, and they're going to agree on the voter's intent. So we're going to have a pile of repealed, maintained, and then any other things that are on the ballot. If there's an undervote or an overvote, or if there's a question on the voter's intent, it might be a canvas ballot or something like that. So you guys are going to do that, then they're going to count it all up and make sure that the counts match. And then we do have the results. They don't know the results, but we already know what they should be. And so we'll add everything up and make sure it matches up. Okay, are you guys all ready?
Yes.
Do you have any questions?
Do we have the scissors?
The scissors? No, for this, these are,
Oh, just tear?
yeah, these will tear.
Okay.
Here's your seal.
All right.
And you should have a seal log inside, which you're going to double check the numbers. Okay, and then you're going to date and sign, put the time.
It's kind of interesting to note with this that the habit of using the orange pen is always with them. Everything we do in elections with the election workers, they only are allowed to use orange pens. This is one of those safety protocols so that they can't have any contact that would interfere with a ballot. So we only issue orange pens. I noticed that's the case today too.
Fine, you can put all the headers together and everything can go back in the box. Okay, Jeremy?
We do have some manuals on top. Are we turning those?
However you need to do it, it'd probably be good if they're all facing the same direction so that it's easier to... So while they're just getting that together, so yesterday morning, as Paul explained, we're required to take from the sample of whatever it is that is ready to scan and pull 6 random batches. So we did this in the morning yesterday. There were 16 batches that were ready to scan, and of the 16 we selected the 6, which they have consolidated here. And then there were 5 county-wide races on all these ballots, and those were the 3 advisory votes and the 2 county propositions, and from those 5 we randomly selected advisory vote 37, which they're going to be auditing right now.
All right. 37, right?
Yes, 37.
So the first thing happening here is that they are sorting by repeal and maintain, creating 2 stacks. It takes both of them to agree that that's what it is, and then they'll start their counting after that.
run through that again for me, David?
Okay, so right now what they're doing is they're breaking down the ballots into the voter's intent. So the voter either voted to maintain or repeal the advisory vote. They also could have chosen not to vote, which then that would be considered an undervote, and they would separate that out in a different pile. Or if they chose both, repeal and maintain, that would be considered an overvote, and that would be a separate pile as well. Then once they've done that, they're going to count everything and make sure that the counts match up to what the tally of the vote is.
So which of these two piles is the best pile?
Say again?
Which of the two piles that the ladies are doing is the favoured pile?
Okay, so well, we're not going to, we don't discuss the results of this until they finish counting.
Okay.
So they don't know which pile is going to have the most votes in it until they're actually done, and then they're going to tell us what they've counted, and then we're going to compare that to the actual.
So they're not finding errors at the moment? They're merely
Hopefully not.
They're only separating out the way the votes have come in.
Right.
Okay.
They're separating by voter intent.
Okay.
So right now we've got the three piles. We have the repeal pile, maintain pile, and these are undervotes, which are votes where the voter chose not to vote.
Gotcha.
I got more work.
You just go ahead and make sure you just take your time.
Okay.
Make sure that you're both watching as you pull, that you agree on every vote.
Well, eventually we'll have to.
Yes. Sorry.
Good room.
Ended.
I know, our friends, that they just do it sprawl. Right, exactly. Yeah, register.
Right.
And so then it should matter. Yeah. I've been working with the women voters right now on septic system this year. And I just thought, well, this would be interesting to come and see this. And then also it ends up that I'm interacting with the public and also even playing the role because we use the ideas of the local media. So.
left here is because this ballot has a line outside the box. And the rule in the state rules for voter intent are that any mark inside the target area is a vote, and if the voter establishes a pattern of voting that has marks outside the target area, it's still considered a vote. It's not a correction unless another vote is selected. So these are actual valid votes.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
That's good, because then you stop and ask a question.
Same pattern.
Now comes the fun part.
Now comes the fun part. We'll sing this first.
Take your time. Be careful.
These are batches of 20, right?
Yes. Everything we count, in elections, we count the same way. In batches of 20, and then we cross that one.
notice when they count, they're very deliberate in counting in the stacks of 20. And then, you'll see this if you're watching on the live stream when we're handling ballots. It's all part of how we very methodically will go through counting, and then they will now count up their batches of 20. And so it is part of a process that we train them in how when they're handling ballots and they're handling envelopes and all of that. So it's keep the counting very exact and in smaller pieces, and we manage it that way. So you'll see it here today.
Okay, you both have your totals? Alright, so let's compare what you guys have. So, for maintained, you each have what?
278,
278 each, okay, and repealed?
353,
And undervotes?
49.
49, okay. Well, don't clap yet.
Oh,
We have to make sure that it matches with the actual results.
well, ours did.
So you guys counted the same.
Yeah.
The, Alan, can you verify this with me? This is just the, I just pulled one of our observers here. The actual results of the race are repealed 353, which is what you, is that what you got, 353? Maintained 278, and then undervotes are 49. So those match what our tabulation system counted. So the audit is spot on.
Sweet.
So very good. So then what I have you guys do next is we're going to transfer your totals over. Kathy, so you would do count 1, put your totals here, and then Roxy, you do for count 2, put your totals, and you're going to print your name, sign, and date.
Okay. Count. That.
Do you want us to rubber band the under?
They don't need to be rubber banded.
Okay.
So I'm just going to go back in the box. You want me to put those in the box?
You want us to have top or does it matter?
Yeah, that will need. And then there's the new one. And then once you're completed this, I'll just make a couple of copies and then we'll seal it all up together.
What's that one?
That's just count number 1, your count number 2. Hey Mike, can you make a quick copy for me?
Yep.
Okay.
What time is it?
I have 11:03.
Okay. I have that. Can you make 2 copies of this for me real quick? Thank you, sir. So now you're just verifying the seal number. Okay, we're going to put, we're also going to put inside the box the lot draw of batches, which is this, and then also the lot draw for races. That'll go in the box as well. I'm going to put that in there. And then this is the results. You can put that in as well.
Okay.
And then as soon as Mike comes back with a copy of the tally sheet that you signed, and we'll seal that box up. You can put the seal log back in there.
Do you have any preference what goes on top?
No, it does not matter.
Other copies going in there?
Just the original that Mike brings back to me will go in there. Steve, I'll give you copies so that you can post them on the web. And just for the folks watching, what we just went through right now is exactly what we would do if we had to do a manual recount for a race. We would break out the batches like that. We would have teams of 2, separating them by vote type, and we would just verify it. So that's exactly what we would do in the event that we had to do a manual recount. So you guys did wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Very professional. Okay, Mike, thank you. Go ahead and place that in there, and then you can seal the box.
Perfect. I'll leave my sweatshirt.
And I think this also illustrates how long a manual recount actually does take. And this was just for one race, and this was just for a sampling of 6 batches of ballots. And so, what was the total number that they actually counted?
The total number was 600 and let's see here.
being at 650 ballots, and it took
680.
and it took almost an hour, 680 ballots to count. And that would be one race, and we had as many races as we had, and we would have a whole lot more than 680 ballots. We would still be counting into next month if we were going to be hand counting everything in an election. So, this is a nice confirmation that the automated system, the scanners are functioning properly, and we've been able to compare against that and know that our technology is working.
And thank you for those of you that stuck around to observe the process.
Thank you.
Very good. Thank you very much, and that's all we have.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Steve.
Do you want this for next time?
No, that's okay.
That's kind of 190,000 votes, man, on about 10 different categories.
Yeah, you first looked, so we're